she's just a tremendous player. Obviously, one of the best in the country. And two, the thing that I think is really special about her, she held, even with a unfortunate injury last year, right? When you hold with sitting out, that the reputation and the skill level is really, really high. And she just is versatile. Boy, she can hit a three, but she handles the ball with ease. She can get to the rim. She rebounds. She's smart. She's a leader. Just a great, great kid, great family. I mean, getting that type of person, first and foremost, and then the type of player she is on top of it. That was just a really huge moment for us. But Hawk fans are really going to enjoy watching her because she has a versatile game it's smooth, it's pretty, and it's very impactful.
I'm sure there was lots of moments on her recruiting where things looked better or worse than they did.
Yeah.
Just what was kind of the emotion of getting that one done and given all the stuff that you had to do and who you had to hold off?
Yeah. I think every recruiting journey for every recruit and their families, and then for the coaching staff, for us, it's just everyone is so unique and different, right? But when you're recruiting one of the nation's best, you just have to buckle in, because it's not going to be, not going to be smooth sailing, and not going to be without just a lot of mini battles along the way, right? And when you say battles, you just have to withstand a lot, because they're looking at the country, and they're looking at just different, different programs with, just different track records, really. And we just try to stay true to who we are. But it was, never easy. I never felt like, oh gosh, this is really happening. I just tried to stay in the moment. And certainly how she announced it was one for the ages. So I will always have that poster hanging. I can tell you that, right? It was just a special moment, and it was totally out of my realm of she was even committing, because it had been a few weeks. So that was just kind of added a little special memory to it. But yeah, I mean, I thought her official visit, I don't think our staff and our players, it was pretty genuine and pretty fun, easy. And that's where you like to start. And you'd like to, hopefully, in the players' minds and recruits, that's what you want it to feel like, right? And you're planning a lot of things, but you can't really script the ease of a visit. Mm-hmm. And I was really thankful that it went that well, because I'm sure it went that well in a lot of places, but all you can control is what you can do. And I felt both times she visited, it just felt like this was home for her. And I'm certainly glad she felt that way at the end.
I think we asked a question at Big Ten Media Day about the recruiting in 2025, and there's so many different elements now to it, but how much did you feel like what you guys represent broke through all that and really resonated with her?
I think it did. And I really, until my last breath, I will forever believe that will be still the reason we get players, right? I think there's just so many different, sidebars now to all the newness of recruiting with rev shares and NILs, but everything we do here is pretty organic, and our fan base, our support, and just our love of our circle and our protection of the culture, it won't ever be, that's not something I ever, will compromise. And when you get a high level recruit that matches who we are, that's when you really totally just go all in, because that they match. But then you just have to get through just so much. The thing I don't like anymore, you have to get through so much of, it's great with the media speculation, but just what people think of rev share and what they think of NILs. There's so many opinions that if a kid's on social media, right, or they get interviewed all the time, is you just have to work so hard to keep the main thing. And it's another element of how to recruit now. It used to be just a scholarship, but now it's a little bit more. But you got to attract people that want to be part of that circle, want to be part of this fan base and be part of this culture. And that's what I'm really thankful for, is you certainly have to understand the system, but you certainly also have to be confident in who you are and what you're going to do as you go about it. And I think that, it's not for the faint of heart, but I think that our plan is really solid. And I'm really thrilled that we got a player like McKenna.
You go back to the postseason last year, that's when Ava kind of broke out at the center position. I think really since that moment, the fans, us and the media, you guys as coach Jeff, knew that she was going to be the starting center this year, and that meant that Hannah was going to be at the power forward position. And just something that they haven't been on the court together to play that. So the question was, is that going to work? It's worked so far, but it's also fair to say that the three teams you played and the two teams
Right.
you got coming up, Drake and you, just don't have the personnel to match up, and no one's going to have the personnel to match up until it's Baylor. Just is there a way to kind of prepare them for that game? Is there anything that you can do in games, even when a team doesn't have the height to match up, to kind of test if it's going to work when a Baylor plays?
That's a great question.
Do you just hope and see when Baylor comes?
I mean, I think when you like what I've said after each of the games, I'm excited about the production of the inside, but I'm really excited about, in the last Evansville game, I was glad to see our guards 3 balls start going down. I thought we're getting a little bit more comfortable in pushing into our offense. So a lot of the things that really had nothing to do with the margin of victory or had anything to do with winning the game, they just looked more comfortable. And when you're looking more comfortable, then you can start to withstand the different things that are going to happen to you, from a Drake to a Northern Iowa to a Baylor to a Miami. And that's what coaching is, right? You have to adjust within the game, and certainly Thursday night is going to be, hey, look, I've been doing this thing now for 33, 34 years, and that game, with the biggest of teams we've had and the best of teams, it's gone down to the wire. So they know how to counter size. Drake does, and so does Northern Iowa. Mm-hmm. So they do a pretty good job of counteracting, because their movement is so hard to guard. So if a Ava or a Layla is going to score a couple buckets, they've now got to defend someone who's about 6 foot, who's going to come off of a flare, or maybe they slip, or maybe it's a screen away, and they've got to handle all these actions that usually bigs don't have to handle. So that's going to change. So even though, yes, we're going to try to take advantage of our size, but we do that every game, whether we're playing a Rutgers, a Michigan State, even if we're playing a big UCLA, but even when we're playing small ball. But I don't get so fixated on that, is because, Drake scores 3 and Ava scores 2 too many times. Pretty soon that's going to be offset, right? So I know tomorrow night I have so much respect for Allison. She's a friend in the profession, and certainly the Drake emotion of that game will always run deep. But I like what I'm seeing out of our bigs, but I think as we continue to grow, the big success is how they handle the smaller ball teams as well as the big ball teams. And we're just going to keep learning and growing. But I love what I'm seeing from the bigs so far.
What do you think of Lisa Bluter doing the color commentary tomorrow night?
I told her when she texted me that, I said, well, this will be the first Drake game that you will not, be needing the Tums. I said, you're going to sit there and enjoy the whole thing. And I said, I'm happy for you on that. A little envious that I won't be, having a buddy to share the Tums with. But the one thing about Lisa is she is going to do great at it. And I'm sure the Drake folks will be like, oh, she's going to be so biased. Lisa didn't get this far in life because of emotion. She has the highest level of integrity. And, she coached at both schools. I think she's going to want to enjoy a little TV gig. So I think it'll be fun, but I don't think you're going to hear her being skewed too much, our way. But I'm really happy for her. Lisa's living her best life right now. I tell you what, she is traveling. She is enjoying Dave. They're seeing their kids. She's got one in Des Moines, one at North Carolina, working in the sports department. Hannah's working for the Hawks. she's getting to do a lot of those things. So I know she enjoys this. This won't be her day job, these TV gigs, but I know she likes them enough that she'll be pretty good at it. So she's not going to be pulling up in black and gold. I can tell you that.